You didn't lose yourself all at once, right? It wasn't some big, sudden thing. It was more like a slow fade, like someone gradually turning down the volume on you, so quietly you almost didn't notice it was even happening. So in this explainer, we're going to talk about how to find that volume knob and turn yourself all the way back up.
It really started with the small stuff, didn't it? I mean, the music you listened to, the way you dressed, even the jokes you told. It was like all these little pieces of you just got sanded down, smoothed over, just to fit into someone else's world, to make them comfortable. You just made yourself smaller and quieter and easier, all just to keep the peace.
And then, boom, one day it hits you. That jarring, heart-stopping moment. You catch your reflection in the mirror and a total stranger is looking back at you. And that feeling, that emptiness is just, wow, it's so deep. And you just think, who is that? Where did I go? And that's the thing. This is the whole point. Toxic love, it doesn't just break your heart. I mean, that's almost too simple, isn't it? No. It methodically, quietly erases the very essence of who you are. And the worst part? It tries to convince you that this erased version of you is somehow the better one. But here is the absolute most important truth I need you to really hear today. You never actually left. The real you, she's still in there, just under all of that noise. She's just been waiting. And this whole conversation, it's about finally giving yourself that permission to come back home. Okay, so to really, truly heal, we have to look past the obvious pain. We've got to understand what was actually taken from you. Because I promise you, it's so, so much deeper than just a broken heart. So let's break this down. On one side, you've got the obvious stuff. Of course, the heartbreak, the lies, the cheating, all of that hurts like hell. But the real wound, the one that lasts, it's that you stopped trusting yourself. That's the core of it. You were literally taught to doubt your own reality, your feelings, your gut instinct. I mean, just think about it for a second. You were in constant survival mode, right? Just walking on eggshells, trying to manage their emotions all the time. And when you're doing that, you learn to just abandon yourself. You stop trusting your gut because, well, he told you you were being too sensitive. You started doubting your own memories because he was constantly rewriting history. That self-abandonment, that's the wound we're here to talk about healing. All right, so before we can even think about rebuilding, we have to do something that, honestly, most of us try to skip. We have to make space for it. We have to give ourselves complete and total permission to just grieve. And this is such a huge question, right? Why does it still hurt so much, even when I know leaving was the right call? Here's the thing. You can feel relieved that it's over and at the same time feel incredibly sad. You can know with every fiber of your being that he hurt you and still miss him. That doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you confused. It just makes you human. It's okay for all of those feelings to exist at once. And this is exactly why it's so complicated. You're not just grieving him, the person. You're grieving the entire future you had pictured in your head. You're grieving the time you lost, that you can't get back. You're grieving the relationship you so desperately hoped it would become. And maybe the biggest one of all, you're grieving the woman you were before all of this ever happened. So listen, the bottom line is this. There is no skipping this part. There's no shortcut. You know that saying you have to feel it to heal it? It's a cliche for a reason. You have to let yourself cry, be angry, just sit with the sadness. Because the people who try to just power through and skip this step, they end up dragging all that pain into their next chapter. And we are not doing that. Okay, so once you've really given yourself that space to feel, that's when the next phase begins. The kind of exciting part, really. And it all starts with one really, really important question. Who were you before him? And here, we've got a super practical roadmap to help you find your way back. So step one, reclaim your space. Make your home, your room, even your car feel like yours again. Step two, go back to those hobbies you dropped. You know the ones, the things you stopped doing for him. Third, and this is a big one, spend time alone on purpose. Not because you're lonely, but to actually learn to enjoy your own company again. And finally, step four, listen to your body. It has been holding on to so much stress. It's time to be gentle and tune back in. All right, now this next part, this is one of the most powerful mindset shifts in this whole entire process. So I really want you to let this sink in. Your self-worth was never destroyed, ever. It was just buried. So see, this whole rebuilding process, it's not about creating self-worth from nothing.
Think of it more like an archaeological dig. Your job now is to just dig away all of that junk, all the criticism, the manipulation, the lies that got piled on top. Because underneath it all, your worth has been there the entire time. It never went anywhere.
And here's a really powerful exercise you can do to start that digging. You literally take the lies he told you and you rewrite them as the truth. So, you're too sensitive? Nope. That becomes you feel things deeply. That is a gift. Or you're too much. Actually, scratch that. The truth is, you are too much for him. And that is his limitation, not your flaw. And this is so important. Please hear me on this. So many of us just wait. We put our entire healing on hold, hoping for an apology that, let's be real, may never come. You have to let that go. Your healing is your responsibility, and it starts the second you decide to give yourself the closure and validation you've been waiting for. Okay, let's tackle the term self-love. Because honestly, it's gotten so watered down, hasn't it? We think it's all about bubble baths and fancy face masks. But real, life-changing self-love, it isn't something you can buy. It's a daily, sometimes gritty practice. This is what it actually looks like in real life. It's setting a tough boundary and then actually keeping it, even when it feels super uncomfortable. It's choosing yourself without an ounce of guilt. It's catching that nasty inner voice and choosing to speak to yourself with kindness instead. And maybe the most important part of all, it's making a promise to yourself to never, ever shrink for someone else again. I want you to think of this as your new compass, your new North Star. This is your non-negotiable from now on. Any kind of love, any relationship that asks you to give up your values, your gut feelings, your sense of worth, that's not love. And it's not a place where you belong, period. And as we start to wrap up, I want you to take a second and really let this land. The fact that you survived all of that tells me everything I need to know about you. You went through hell, and yes, it hurt. Yes, it changed you. But you know what it didn't do? It didn't break you. You're still here. That's the proof. Because look, the woman you're becoming on the other side of this, the one who is learning to trust herself again, who knows her worth deep down in her bones, she's going to be absolutely unstoppable. You're not just going back to who you were, you're becoming someone so much more. So let's bring this all back to right now. The work doesn't have to be some giant, overwhelming thing. It just starts with one small, brave choice. So I'll leave you with this question. What's one thing, no matter how small, that you're going to choose just for you today?